Yeah. It's rolling already.
All right, let's get 1, 3, 5, 7 for a date. You want me to do it? I'll do it if you want.
Yeah, no, I got it.
All right, take us away.
All right, give me a moment. 1, 3, 5, 7. All right, what the hell is up, internets? Today we are here with some very special guests from the upcoming film, The Hellgate. We have DJ Remark, the writer-director. We have Bridget Linda Froemming, who is going to be playing Lillian in the film. And we have Emily Dani, who is playing Stacy in the film of Bloodscribe Creations. Let's just get right into it.
I love to get right into it. Hell's Gate on 420. I'm going to smoke this bitch up. Let's do it.
All right, guys. So how's your day been? Let's just start it off with that.
Busy. I feel like, I feel like I've been awake for the last month and a half, but
pre-production.
Yeah, pre-production.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Like it's that's all it's been.
So this isn't your first rodeo, but it's your first feature film rodeo. You've done. I saw on your website you have Good Works, Bells, What It Takes, previous short films that you've worked on. Can you tell us a little bit about those projects and where people can find them? If anyone who's watching this is interested in what you have coming up, they want to see what you've already done.
Yeah, so they can always go to the website, bloodscribecreations.com, and there's a watch tab where you can watch those, but they're all on YouTube. They're on my YouTube channel because I had my YouTube channel before we made Bloodscribe. So it's just youtube.com/DJ Remark, and then you'll see them there. So Good Works and What It Takes were both done for a film competition out of Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm originally from Akron, Ohio. I actually just moved down here 2 years ago. And so that was what that was. And Bells is they're all 3 proof of concepts, but Bells is a proof of concept for a feature film that I've written. So that's what they all are.
Okay, so you're like making pitches for. Okay, that's smart. Yeah. So you've been, if I remember correctly from our first phone call, you started in like 2018 as far as like the short films.
Yeah. So I was in and out of the Cleveland film scene as far back as 2010. I was in two movies that are both terrible. One of them's on Amazon though, so you'll find it there. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you'll find it there. And then I got a job in IT. And then in 2018, it was either put my head through a computer screen or start making films again.
Yep,
and
that's still there.
So that's where it happened.
And what is it about Hellgate that is like? Why now? Like in what ways do you feel ready now that you haven't before? Why is it a feature film this time?
Well, I don't feel ready, but
just now or never.
It's now or never.
Yeah.
I have 6 short films. I have 2 music videos. And I got into this to make feature films, and so I was like, I gotta do it. I just gotta get this. I gotta get this out.
Yeah, so, 6 short films is practically a feature already. So.
Might as well. Well, I've been approached by a couple of people to put What It Takes and Good Works in an anthology. So they've wanted to put those in anthologies. So
you just talked about what it takes. Let me ask you this, because this segues into the questions I was going to ask next. Most people want to ask, what does it take to make it in the film industry? But I feel like that's an antiquated question, because in each genre or each dynamic, as far as each time frame or era, it's going to be different. So nowadays, with the TikTokers, the YouTubers, I made this with an iPhone. What does it take to make it in the film industry?
Shit, patience.
Yeah, I would say now is the best of times and the worst of times to make a film, because you can. I shot my very first short film was actually a drama, and I shot it on a Galaxy S9. I got a couple of friends I bought a bunch of like cheap lighting and sound equipment off of Amazon. I think I spent like maybe $300 total.
Shout out to Newer.
Dude, I'm a newer man.
I'm a newer man.
I am. I have all of my gear is newer. I'll shout them out all the time. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I spent like $300 on some gear. I had my cell phone, it was a Galaxy S9, and I got a couple of actors. One of them is actually semi-famous, Caitlin Newberry, but
I'm terrible at names and also faces, so I'll look it up later.
It's all right,
yeah,
but she,
I'm black, right?
She was
just throwing it out there. You're in France. He said,
"Yo, well, shit. Wait a second.
All right, keep going, sir."
And then we just scheduled out a weekend and just made a short film, But on the other side of that is, because everything's so accessible and because things are so readily, you get a lot of crap.
Yeah.
But you're gonna, I'm not saying my first short film was great. You can always improve, and that's what I hope to do with every next film is what's the lesson that I learned on this film and how do I make it better?
There's never been a filmmaker, a successful, continuous filmmaker that says, my first film won everything.
Yeah.
So stop living that pipe dream.
So this question is for the whole group, one at a time, starting with you. Why film? Like what made you want to get into?
So I actually grew up in theater. So probably when I was like 7 or 8, my grandma forced me into a repertory theater program because I was homeschooled. I was weird. I had no friends. So of course theater, because that's cool, right?
Yeah,
and I did that all throughout high school. And then I graduated, went to college for a bit, studied technical theater. COVID hit in the middle of everything. I went home, all of my classes were online. And I had this moment when I was taking my stagecraft class online. And they were teaching me how to work a power saw virtually. I was like, that's a little fucked up. How the hell am I going to learn that? And also, I learned that in high school. I know how to do that. So I dropped out of school. No live theaters were operating down in Orlando. That's where I'm from. But there was the Orlando Independent Filmmakers. They were running a few virtual challenges. So I started entering those. And then I just loved the environment. And then I just kept doing that. And I transitioned more into film because I just loved it more.
It's intoxicating, right? That's I think that's the
Right.
best way to describe film. Like, it's torturous and intoxicating at the same time.
I can tell
Yeah.
she's on the right path. Could you please show the audience your bees? Let's hold up those bees right
Oh.
there, man. Yeah, all right, and over. All right, she's gonna make it. I know it. Next.
I so it's kind of a funny story. I enjoy telling the story because me and one of my girlfriends, we were sitting at my house and we once a week we'd get together and just kind of catch up on life and have some wine, order in seafood or Chinese or whatever we're feeling, and just like hang out, like catch up. Well, it was like one of those days, and my friend Tasia came over, and we're like scrolling through, Insta or Facebook or whatever, and we see this casting call for this movie that's filming in Jax, and we kind of like teased. I'm like, who would want to make a film in Jacksonville? There's like nothing to do here, So like,
Where's the scenery?
3 glasses in, she's like, apply, and I'm like, okay. So I did, and then I did my audition video, and it turns out that, like I have a secret talent for this stuff. So I really enjoyed doing it. Just pretending to be in like a alternate place or like pretending to be somebody you're not is just so like fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then not only it's like, have you ever listened to like a song and then like pictured that you were in the music video and you're like, yeah, I can do
all
that.
the time. Every
Willie
time.
Nelson, motherfucker.
That, I mean, it's so like I do that all the time, and I'm just like, bro, I know the perfect music video for this, So just like little stuff like that. But I mean, this project kind of just spoke to me. My friend and I were, just hanging out. Apply, I did, and then boom. So here I am. So I have 0 experience with acting. So this will be my first ever acting gig, and it's really exciting.
Are you prepared for multiple takes?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I always like the blindsided look of like a new actor who's on set for the first time and they're like, all right, we're doing it again and again and again and again.
So I was an extra on this film in Fort Lauderdale. That was the first time I ever stepped foot on a set. And when they kept doing it, I was just a waitress, but they kept making me bring out bread. And I'm like, I just fucking did this. I just did this, but they did it like 50 times. And I'm like, bro, my feet hurt. I didn't even have to remember lines. I was just bringing out bread, but it was so fun. And
It's all the kids out there.
Yeah.
You think you want to be an actor and actress? Fuck off. That's what really happens.
no, keep going.
No,
It's fun.
the
So
ones
wait-
that really want it will keep going, or they'll say my feet hurt and go home. So
That's true.
you think you want to do this until it's time to really do
It's
it.
just funny because like the cliche is that like when you're trying to make it in Hollywood, like you go to any diner and the person who's serving you is likely an aspiring actor.
Yep.
And you land your first role, and it's a fucking waitress.
I know.
So what?
John
this is
Krasinski,
bitterly
waiter,
ironic.
Bruce Willis, bartender.
So,
Follow your dreams, kids.
Jennifer Aniston.
And it's-
Jennifer
there we go.
Aniston.
Yes,
Yeah. Isn't
Um,
that crazy?
What about you?
It's reality.
So why film for me? Well, like Bridget, I came up in theater. I actually went to a performing arts middle school that I had to audition for to get into. And I actually auditioned in dance. and I made it in dance, and then I went immediately into theater after that.
Stop. Okay, I'm only going to be distracted by this question in my own head until you answer. What style of dance were you doing?
Ballet.
No.
Stop!
He wanted to hear interpretive dance. I know you saw it.
Yeah, so that
I
was like,
100%
hip hop
really
freestyle.
Elliot.
No, why?
Because I just thought it would be
Is that
cool when
the
I imagined like
We
a
need
box
videos.
on the ground.
I need
I
this.
never saw that.
He's
not
gonna
Kid
be in
Ray.
like a fucking
Okay.
spandex onesie. I need it.
I was
All right. I mean, props. That's a
Grease.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
think Grease.
it was ballet, and then I was in that for a year, and then I moved over. I did one of the plays, and I was like, well, that's what I want to do. And so I was in the theater program, and then after middle school, I went to a high school that was very involved in the arts. They even had a black box theater for
I
high
don't know
school.
what it means. You help me out for that? For the people in the black.
For the people in the black.
I'm fucking with you, bro.
I was like, well, so a black box theater is a small.
And that's how you fucking go viral, kids.
all right.
Yeah,
He was
so
about
that's
to
what it was.
fumble. He was on a fumble.
And then I went to I went to a film or it's like a TV and radio broadcasting school. That was a big waste of money, and then just started making just
When the
short
real
films and the feature films that I was in with
the real education.
Can I ask you this? What's the challenge from, like you say, you started out auditioning, you acting, dancing, doing all these things which are in the arts. What's the challenge of now being responsible for other people and making sure their dreams try to come true?
So for me, it's hiring somebody who knows how to do that.
Delegate.
Yeah. I have, and my production manager, Heidi McGehee, is my saving grace. Without her, this movie would not happen. So, I mean, it's
Shout out
for
to
real.
Heidi.
So Heidi. I for real, because I know what my limitations are, and so I try to find somebody that have those strengths and get them on my team so that they can perform their strength, I can perform mine, and we make a good movie.
That takes a lot of trust. That's like, it seems like you're just taking work off yourself, but speaking personally, that's almost like I'm losing more sleep overnight wondering how somebody else is doing. But I guess that goes back to what Tom was saying in the last interview, that you just have to trust the team that you're working with, and then you don't lose sleep over it.
I think to your point, what you talked about, and they heard this Tom being an actor, and I feel like once you play more than one role, you take on that responsibility of I used to be that person. And I tell people this to this day: as much experience as me and him have, he knows it's to a fault. I'll still pick up trash to this day because guess what? I still care about the craft, not craft services, the craft of acting and the art of it.
I took a few, like, even so. I stopped acting back in like 2010, 2011, but I still took like acting classes after that, just because I feel like that makes you a better director. That that'll improve anything. Just that way you know how it goes through. And then my philosophy on directing is I don't like to tell actors how to act. You'll see a lot of, especially and this happens a lot of in amateur directors. It's like, oh, say the line like this. This is how or I wrote it like this. Try that. And it's like, they're the actor. They have to kind of interpret that line that way. What your job is as a director is to help them realize the vision that you have for the scene, but they are the ones that have to bring it to life. Because otherwise, just cast yourself. So that's true. So if you take acting classes as a director, you will then realize that, and you'll be able to communicate better with actors instead of just say it this way. Because I mean, do you guys want to even hear that? Yeah. So they don't want to even be told that.
and again, from what I'm hearing, you've been classically trained and you're just new to it. And so you have both ends of the spectrum, and neither one of them want to hear it. I don't want to fucking hear it. That's why I started directing, because I said, I'm not going to talk to myself the way these motherfuckers used to talk to me.
Yeah. Right.
Hello?
Right.
I like getting the description of like, hey, this is how you should be feeling. Channel that, but not, hey, say it like this, because then what am I there for?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
Channel that.
I'm not a puppet. You're gonna stick your hand up my ass?
Well, unless you're a
Stick your hand up
ventriloquist,
my
I'm
ass,
not going to be the puppet.
Yeah.
It's trying to find that balance between the railroad tracks and the sandbox.
Mhm.
It's just trying to find that balance there. Once you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Let's get into Hellgate. Can you just you're in an elevator, you got 3 floors, there's a hotshot producer there that wants to know what it's about. What would you tell him?
Two YouTubers have a show about horror movies and metal music. Nobody's watching. One night they drunkenly trespass into a graveyard and get footage of a ghost. They upload that footage to YouTube, their popularity explodes, and their haunting begins.
That okay, yeah, got it.
Hell.
Because
In
that's-
fairness, does that not sound like surprisingly something else we covered on the show?
what?
Studio 666?
No,
Somewhat.
because it's a horror film about a ghost.
The Rockers and all that other stuff.
You're being disrespectful.
I mean, hindsight.
There's similar movies we have in our pitch deck. We have like movies that are similar to this. Like Deathgasm is a movie that's similar to this.
But
Final Girls
not Studio 666.
is a movie.
Have you seen Deathgasm?
I haven't seen.
Then how would you know? See, there you go.
So maybe it is.
You'll notice that 90% of the interviews is just arguing amongst ourselves. And then we'll get to
That's
you
what makes it
eventually.
the best.
That's a killer elevator pitch, and we're on YouTube right now, so you're obviously speaking to the right audience, and that's like, unfortunately, that's a message that resonates with most people today. Is like dying for the algorithm and anything for the views, and that's like taking it very literally in the horror sphere. It's a pretty brilliant concept. It's simply brilliant. Like,
But horror has always been set behind, and I think we can all agree with this. Horror has always been set behind the pilgrim of, you don't see people winning Oscars for horrors, the scores for horrors. Like, it's fucked up because comedies have won. I think if it's a genre, it's a genre. And that's what dramas are not leading 85% of all the Oscar winners. Just because you can make me feel something more than making me cry. If you make me laugh, that's an emotion. If you make me scared, that's an emotion. That's something people are not fighting for, and that's what bothers me.
But fear is also the most primal emotion. Like it's that's the reason why we evolved the way we did, is because we were able to experience fear.
Yeah, it's like both sides of the spectrum. It's like laughter and like terror. They're two things you like. An audience can't fake genuine laughter or genuine terror. Like they can't just give you that to make you feel better. Like you have to really pull it out. Both of those things have to be involuntarily pulled.
That's
out
why
of the
Forrest
audience.
Gump won an Oscar, because it made you laugh, scary, and it was drama. I mean, it was all those things.
Mhm.
So yeah.
You kind of talked about this, but I want to jump over to Bridget and Emily. Can you tell us about your characters?
So I play the notorious Stacy. So Stacy is like the more level-headed of the two. She's more of like the mom. She's more responsible for the bills and making sure the rent gets paid on time. She's doesn't do drugs. She sticks to just her drinks. Her best friend Lillian is kind of like the party animal. So like that's my better half.
Mm-hmm.
She's the yin to my yang. Like we're very much alike, but we need each other to function.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she's like everything that I'm not. So she brings out the best in me in this character. So Stacy is very reserved and pulled back, and she is Lillian is very outgoing, outspoken, very loud, like center of attention. Like I know I'm hot, and Stacy's like very reserved.
Nice.
Yeah, and Lillian's also very determined too. She's the one that's kind of pushing the YouTube channel. When they first see the ghost, she's the one that's like, hey, let's keep on this. Like, we gotta keep doing this. I don't want to give up. She's not afraid to say whatever she wants to say. And kind of like Emily was saying, she'll do whatever the fuck she wants. Like,
Yeah. So
Did you two know each other before this film?
No.
So what is it like to be like, oh, this is you, this is you? Did you guys bond right at first, or was it like, let me feel this bitch out?
It's crazy because we are our characters in real life. Like there's a lot of differences between our characters and our real life person, but like our dynamic and our like personal relationship currently is exactly like Stacy and Lillian's would be.
Mhm.
So like she's at concerts every other weekend, always trying to drag me out to Orlando to go like mosh pit somewhere. And I'm like, honey,
She's like, I'm an adult. I have to work.
I'm almost 30. Like I work a full-time job, and she's like,
But
no,
what
it's
she's
okay.
saying is, not age is not a number. Live, baby,
it's
live.
okay.
I'd say
it's-
you're a Lillian to my Stacy.
Yeah.
that's
I
right,
mean,
that's
and
right.
we're always in some bullshit. Like,
Oh, God.
and we have so much fun. I mean, it's great. I mean, and she looks out for me, I look out for her, but we're always in some bullshit every time we go out together. But yeah, I'm the one who makes sure we get home safe, make sure the tab is paid. And Lillian's like, we got boys' numbers. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, we actually met at the audition.
We did.
Really?
We're gonna write a movie for us, but we're gonna write them as females and cast you
We
too. That's what we're
should.
gonna do. And Tom, you direct so we can win some awards.
But yeah, we met at the audition.
Yeah.
And I walk in the room. I was like the last person to show up because I commuted from Orlando, so it's a hefty drive, and we had to be there at like 8 a.m. or something.
I think so.
Something silly in the morning. But I walk in, Emily's sitting there, and the first thing she says, she's like, "You're Bridget. I stalked you," and everyone else in the room was kind of like, but I was like, "Holy shit! I love that because I stalk people too. I love researching people." You know, a little search on Facebook, search on, I like looking at people's Zillows because, sometimes you can like look them up and their address
Well, no, that's
populates.
fucking weird. I was with them all the way up to the stalking. Zillow gets weird. You Zillow?
No.
Everyone's
Thank you,
done
bro.
it.
Like, say something to me, bro. What year were you born?
I'm just
87.
curious.
How many
He's an
break-ins
eighth.
has happened in your neighborhood
Zillow,
in the past?
bro, looking up somebody online is fine. If you go to Zillow, if you've not fucked that person, that's fucking weird.
If you pop their name into Google,
LinkedIn.
it's gonna be
LinkedIn.
Facebook.
LinkedIn is
Yeah,
cool.
IMDb,
That's the Zephyr Hills of
and
stalking.
Zillow.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah,
Like, don't.
Zillow is
YouTube
like
like
the
Zillow now. That's a
second one
Thursday
down.
night for me. Like,
Hey, I want to know where I'm going if I get
Yeah.
invited over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tommy, tiebreaker?
Am I going to like a drug pen,
Yeah.
or am I going to a trap house? Like, am I going to like a nice house? Like, I need to know.
Property value for trap houses on Zillow is way down. Nobody's going there.
Did you
But I'm
did
not
you
searching
Zillow
their
did you
address.
Zillow this address Studio 83 before
I did,
coming
yeah.
out here? How'd you
Well, you're not paying taxes yet. Sorry.
I
What
just
you
I want to
found?
make sure I'm pulling into the right place. It's dark.
It does. In fairness, it does not look like the right place when you pull up. You're like, oh shit, I never saw this coming. There you go.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Oh, I didn't stalk you guys before I came.
But she did. That's why y'all
I
yin
did,
and yang.
Yeah. I
But
was like,
that's
we're
why
in the
she
right place.
protects you.
Okay.
You're never going to fall into a pit because of
Oh no, I protect her,
Yeah.
but I'm just not as like precarious enough. Like, she's a very like, she will freak out over the minuscule shit.
Can I ask you ladies a very honest question here, because none of us guys are qualified to answer this. As ladies get into this industry nowadays, because I don't know what it's like back then or now, do you ladies feel any male chauvinistic, or do you feel any pressure to the parts you're being put in because you're females, or do you think you're being given a fair chance?
I think I'm fair. I think we're
Yeah, I think especially in the horror genre, everyone always needs to cast
You
females.
need you need tits and
Yeah.
screams.
That did not help my question at all. I'm trying to give Tommy, am I wrong?
And
Well,
also,
horror. So
I kind of take offense to that.
I mean, am I wrong?
I'll step in a little bit. So,
Okay.
I mean, horror has always been a female-dominated genre.
Yeah, Jamie
I
Lee
mean,
Curtis,
if
everyone.
you, if you go back into history without female, whether it's final girls or even like protagonists, or I mean, like you have like women dominate in the horror genre.
Heather
So,
Langenkamp.
He's right.
Exactly. I mean,
My
like,
first.
and
crush.
I mean, Scream also taps into this, and it's just everything. I mean, Sleepaway
You're right.
Camp. If you watch
Beauty and the
Sleepaway
Beast.
Camp- Yeah, I mean, it's just so when it comes to a genre that is specifically celebratory of women,
Yeah, I've never thought about it.
it is horror.
That's fucked up.
And
He's right.
so and
I'm
it
watching that
obviously comes with its caricatures. We all know what the caricature of horror is.
Yeah.
But really, if you actually take a deep dive into horror and women's roles in horror, it's very celebratory of women.
That's that.
I mean,
Well, I wouldn't call it celebratory. I would call it deflammatory, if anything, because that's fucked up. You're right. I've never thought about that. Why is that the one genre they should shine in? Oh, some female getting fucked up or killed. The damsel in distress, fucked up. I mean, you're right, but I've never thought about it.
You read into it the completely opposite way.
No, I hear for the first time I'm hearing what he's saying. Like, damn, my favorite horror movies. I'm thinking I love the villain, but I also know the female that they killed just as much. Cindy, or this person, the chick that had telepathy in a Freddy Krueger film. So, like, come on, but yeah, come on, yeah.
So Hush. I mean, and
that's my best. That's my favorite.
Now, but here's the thing: we fast forward to now, we can have films like Prey with I can't remember the young lady's name, but we did a review on our channel. That young lady there, she's the young Indian lady that kills the predator. So it can be flipped. It's not.
Oh yeah,
horror.
so I mean,
That's
Hush
if
kills the predator.
Yeah,
the girl in Hush.
I just wish if
Well,
we
if
were having
there's-
this conversation about anti-misogyny, that one of us would remember the actress's name. That's all. I just
Well, I'm speaking for the both of us because out of the two of us,
I didn't review it.
I don't think Prey is. I think Alien is a better example. I think the character.
Signory,
I really think that's a better example if we're going to talk about. And that happened before Jennifer Lawrence, unfortunately.
with
Yeah.
Hunger Games.
Don't tell Jennifer Lawrence. that.
Yeah, don't tell her that.
I feel like there's
Signory Weaver.
always prominent women in film, but it becomes competitive once awards and recognition are brought into it. Because now we're starting to see an increase of women winning more awards, but back then you wouldn't really
see that.
Here's my thing. Edge of Tomorrow. Everyone loves Tom Cruise's performance. No one talks about the young lady who was just as powerful in the film.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we get her name, Dave?
No, you tell me.
No, I brought
it's
it up.
Emily.
You
You
tell
tell
me.
me your last
Blank.
name. There you go.
I know what I'm doing, kid.
All right.
I'm sorry, listen.
we kind of went off the rails a little
Did we?
bit. Let's get back into
Talking about women who went off the rails.
Hellgate. Remember that?
I do
So the
Hellgate.
Hellgate actually has all the quintessential things to horror: titties, women,
Back.
and metal music. So
those
go
are
watch
the three.
it.
That's the holy
Did
trinity.
you prep
of
them
horror
for this
right there.
interview or what?
He's supposed to be chaperoning us.
You
But
got
he-
you got the
he's-
Jesus titties, the
Dad?
Holy Spirit heavy metal, and God the Father.
He watched the interview we did with Thomas. Was like, ladies, forget everything I told you. Just let it ride. That's exactly what happened.
DJ, where did the inspiration for the idea come from? I know you said you guys have like some movies that you're drawing inspiration from, but like the story itself, did that? I feel like a YouTube, somebody struggling on YouTube, that's got to be coming from a place somewhere deep down inside.
Well, I mean, I have my own YouTube channel, but I've never been like, I want to be a YouTuber. And then my buddy and I actually did have a similar channel where we did review horror movies and metal music, and it didn't really go anywhere. But I wasn't like, oh, you know, like this should be my thing. I just kind of used that as sort of a springboard to tell a story about friendship and, you know, a curiosity killed the cat kind of theme. So I took from real life that way, but the inspiration really was, how do I shoot the cheapest thing that I can shoot myself, or how do I write the cheapest thing that I can shoot myself, and, you know, get it to, you know, be able to finish a feature film.
Yeah.
Well-
And so that's where that kind of came from.
And I mean, Stacy is also a part of you, as well as Lillian is a part of you.
Yeah, I mean, as a writer, you're always going to kind of put elements of yourself or other people that you know in the characters. But I mean, yeah, Stacey and Lillian are definitely reflections of me and some of my friend group that, you know, I've come to know, and hopefully they see themselves in that character. But I wanted to write two characters that people could relate to in more ways than one. I mean, like, even though they have a YouTube channel, I mean, how many people are struggling just to make it in whatever they're doing?
But that's to the
So-
point to Seinfeld. Larry David did that with his characters. Her point, what she was just saying, like you wrote them too, but it was like your everyday life things you've experienced, and that's what makes it real.
Well, and yes, and that's how writers should write. You know, you should write from your life, your experience, and that's, you know, this is. I don't want to go off on another rabbit trail, but I think that life experiences today have become limited, and we're starting to sort of see some effects of that in writers today. And so, you know, if you are writing from your life and things that you know, you're going to be able to tap into the zeitgeist, and people will get that. Yeah. And if you care about your characters and you write a character-driven story, even if it's a silly horror movie, you know, which I wanted this to be a fun film. You know, I wanted people to have fun watching this and also kind of be scared.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I wanted to make a movie that I wanted to watch, essentially. And so, you know, if you have characters that you can relate to in any way at all. I'm not a woman. Why did I write two female characters? Well, it's not about them being women. You know, it's about their struggle. It's about what they're actually going through. And you don't need to be a woman to be able to, you know, identify with that aspect of that character.
Yeah. Which state?
If it was like 1987, I agree with that last statement. But we live in a world now where, and I feel we don't. No,
Well, I think the world now is
that's why I
wrong.
brought up Seinfeld, because even Jerry Seinfeld said, "Listen, you can write for a woman, but we can't identify. We don't know what a woman would say."
I don't think
Right, exactly.
Well,
There are
and that's
universal-
that's
there are
why
universal struggles, so.
I actually sent the script off to 3 female writers that I know.
You delegated
And I
very
asked
well.
them, and I
yes.
said, "Hey, do these guys or do these ladies sound like ladies, or they sound like guys?" In the first draft of the script, they're like, "They sound like guys." And I was like, "All right, help
Maybe
me."
not necessarily
What if-
guys thinking what ladies would say.
Right, and so, well, no, they said that they sounded like guys.
Help
And so I was like, "All right, well, okay, fine. They sound like guys. Well, so what do you
me,
So
fucker.
so help me. What would they say, or like how would they do this?" And so I would take feedback from that, and I would take, you know, and I trusted these writers, and I trusted these people, and so I just took everything that they told me and then changed that into the second draft of the script to make it what they said it should be.
Yeah.
And that's how I wrote it. So,
Watch this. Now, this is not live, but it's recorded. I just got to ask one quick question here. I get in an accident. A doctor saves my life. What's his first name? I'm sorry, I rephrased it. I get in an accident.
You
A doctor
motherfucker.
saves my life.
Fuck
What's
you.
the doctor's first name?
Whatever.
Cares.
I do. What's the doctor's first name?
Doctor.
No. It's no wrong answer.
trying to
What's the
ask
doctor?
you.
No. You can't say it. Let me know. Let him ask.
I'm trying.
If I died in an accident and a doctor saved me, what's the doctor's first name? Choose
Sarah.
one name. What's your first name? What would the doctor's first name be?
Bob.
And to my point, I'm right on both points. The female chose a female's name. You chose a male's name. Nobody's wrong. It's nothing wrong with just identifying as what you think is there. You just want your fucking life saved.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Right.
wrong.
Well, and that's
so when
I
you
guess-
wrote for you, and that's okay.
right.
But it's okay to delegate and have a woman say what a woman's going to say. You don't fucking know.
I agree
Yeah.
with the sentiment though. There are like the dialogue. That's one thing you want to check with somebody that actually has that voice. But there are universal struggles that are just human, and
Yeah.
we can
Right.
Right, I mean, you
that's
can
something anybody
identify,
can
like-
identify with.
I love Alien, right? I love the character. I love the character of Ripley. Why?
It's just badass.
Because she's badass because she goes through the same
Correct.
struggles that I do. Because
Correct.
That's how I feel about
Well,
You didn't
Sarah.
look at her as a female hero. She was just a fucking hero.
Yeah,
to you.
right. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't buy into any of this identity politics stuff when it comes to film. When it comes to like, I need to see some German Jew, playing every role, or else I can't enjoy the film. No, bullshit. I
Yeah.
reject it.
The best person for the job.
When I see a character, I see a character, and I find something that I can attach to that character, and that's how I relate.
We call that the Robert Downey Jr. clause.
Correct. That's from the Trumpet Thunder.
Yeah.
A guy playing
Okay.
a guy playing a guy playing a guy.
Right.
Because there's nothing fucking wrong with it. You can identify as something as long as you're not making fun of it. I did a review
Yeah.
of Prey, and I told them these are the top 3 females I've seen kick ass in film. I did the young lady from Prey, and I did Wanda Maximoff. Some guy was like, "That's a fucking Marvel film. What the fuck you mean she's kicking ass?" I'm like, bro, you don't. In my opinion, first off, which is mine, I'm the one who fucking edited and did the fucking video. Listen. This young lady who stood the back seat for 11 fucking years in all these fucking films got to beat the fuck out of Thanos in the biggest film ever. That's kicking ass to me, and that's my
Yeah.
opinion. And I loved it
Wanda Maximoff.
Why are they hating?
because he's Marvel misogynistic. Not him, though.
Wanda Maximoff's
Girl.
I'm
character.
regular misogynist.
The character assassination of Wanda Maximoff in WandaVision
He loves
and-
WandaVision, though. Didn't you love
and
WandaVision?
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse is criminal. What they did to that character.
See, I'm
is
not.
It is
I'm
criminal.
not.
It is.
I'm coming at it from and not being a Marvel fan. I just like.
But you're a fan of film, though.
All right, it's off
That's why
topic.
you love.
That's off topic.
Okay.
When does production begin on Hellgate?
MCU.
So when do we shoot?
Yeah, when do you begin shooting?
April 24th.
April 24th. And we already established you are pre. I'm not going to say you're in pre-production. Pre-production is all up in you right now. What is that like? Like, what's that process like? And for the terrible. Okay. So can you talk about what goes into that? Like, I think it's different for every filmmaker. Everybody prepares differently. What's your process like?
So I probably did a lot of things wrong in pre-production. I probably cast a little too early. But my justification for that was I wanted to start getting buzz for the film early. So I wanted to have the cast so that I could get them on podcasts and I could get them on, I could get them out there showing that, we are making a film. And I was trying to tap into the YouTube meta as YouTubers. I was trying to get them on YouTube channels as their characters
Smart.
talking about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
However, that didn't exactly play out. It was probably a good idea,
Yeah.
but the actual execution just didn't kind of go where it was because, it might have been a little confusing. However, but that was my idea, was to just get that cast and try to do things that way. But pre-production itself, like raising money for film is the worst thing ever. And, we are going through private investment. That's what we're looking for this. Obviously, we take donations and help, anywhere we can, but trying to find investors for films like this is, it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really what it's been. Plus trying to get everybody's schedules together, trying to lock down locations, pull permits, and really try to do things by the book. Even though, it's a non-union project, I'm trying to keep it as professional as we can.
Yeah.
I'm so proud that you said all those things because, again, we have a segment on our show called Film School. And when we started the show, we said we're not talking about us, not talking about what we've done. This is talking about teaching and giving back. And I love what you said because people don't understand this. Everything you just laid out is a step of saying, I want to be an independent filmmaker to understand what it's like from going to non-union to union to SAG. And I want to ask this, and you pretty much laid out everything, but I want to ask these young ladies, what was it like for you ladies, the audition process, the nerves, and now being here and now saying, where do we go from here? What is that like?
For me, this was in independent film, one of the most professional audition processes I've gone through. We had to do an initial submission, and then from there, they selected people to do a video audition. So then we had to do a video audition. From there, they selected people for interview callbacks. So we did those over Zoom. And then from that, they selected people for in-person auditions. Nice. So we had like 5 steps to even getting an in-person audition. And then they held the in-person auditions here in Jacksonville. And it was fun because when I got there, I actually knew someone that I had worked with before. So that kind of eased my nerves a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it's still nerve-wracking, especially with this one when you walk in and there's a blonde role and a brunette role. Yeah. So you walk in the room and it's half blondes and half brunettes.
It's half blonde, and you're like, oh fuck. So you're not going to do it.
Yeah, you're not going to read with them. So you're like, holy shit, these people are my competition. Yeah. So it's tense the whole time, but you want to be friends with everybody. But it's hard because you also don't want to be friends with them because you want their role. Yeah. So it's very tense. Very tense.
Yeah. That's crazy. I've never been like in a situation where we've heard stories like that with guests on the show where they walk into a room and they just see 10 other people that kind of resemble them and they're like, good luck. Damn. But that means bad luck for me. So
yeah, and they would send one pairing in and they would come out and everyone's like, okay, so what did you have to do? Like, how was it?
Yeah, so like they would send a blonde and a brunette in together. And then they would audition together. But you knew that you weren't going to audition with another brunette. And she wasn't going to audition with another blonde. So you couldn't tell who was good and who wasn't. Yeah. So like when me and her went in together, we clicked instantly.
That's what they're fucking looking for, though. They're not looking for the beautiful, the most talented. Who has the best chemistry?
We had the best chemistry right off the rip. Yeah, like we walked into the room and we started fucking like stretching and like trying to like get the nerves out, whatever. And then like we went out for drinks afterward, got fucking wasted, and we were like, "What's up,
DJ?" I'm watching your face as they're describing the hell that you put them through, and I'm picking up on equal parts shame and pride. Because I think
you did it on purpose.
It's genius how that. Well, first of all, having like a 5-step process that really weeds out like the people that are serious to like because the production is going to be a lot harder than a 5-step audition process. Yeah. So I'm going to steal that from you in the future if I ever audition again. But I just think that's so brilliant to have them come in like that, and that you're getting the A game from everybody because they're like right there with the competition. Did you feel like any certain way about that at all? Like this is working so good. I feel terrible. Why
would I feel terrible?
Well, now it's gonna sound like I'm calling you an asshole.
Call me an asshole.
He's an asshole. He made us all wait.
Maybe it's the drugs I'm on, but I'm just feeling super empathetic, and I don't know if like that part of me. Like, trust me, this is coming from a place that I told her I'm going to steal this from you. So I admire you 100%. But there's also that, like, the empath in me be like, I just want to, they're feeling so unsure of themselves right now. Yes. They're feeling so.
It is torture. It is torture.
Why is that? Why is that any of my concern?
I love this.
Asshole.
Here's what I'll say that. I know what I'm putting into this movie.
Yes.
I want people that are going to put the same thing. And so if you're feeling stressed or you're feeling bad about this, fine, good.
Beautiful.
It should be.
Because I want what you're going to give me. I want you to want the same thing I want. Mm-hmm. And Bridget, when you read the requirements for Lillian, what did it say?
Blonde girl who likes metal music and horror movies and must be able to talk about them with a sense of authority.
Yep.
That last line is what sold it.
Right.
Because there's 98% of people that describe the first 3 lines. The last part you were there for.
Right. And so that's what I was looking for. I want somebody, because if you're making a movie about horror movies or if you're making a movie about metal music, your actors need to sound and act like they know what they're talking about, or else they're going to immediately be called out. and people are going to notice that. And so that's why I wanted 2 leads. Even though this is Emily's first film, she knocked her audition out of the park every single step of the way. And so I don't care that that's her first film. You know, I'm not looking for what credits she's done. I'm not looking for who she's worked with. I'm not looking for what anything else. I don't care. What I care about is the performance that I'm going to get and the person that is going to care about this character and is going to give me what I want.
I'll tell you, if I knew nothing about the movie and I just like accidentally stumbled onto this part of the interview, I would be so excited to see it just based off of your conviction alone.
Fucking lying. I'm an actor. I know when someone's fucking lying. He's telling the truth.
The writing itself is such a, it's great.
It's great. Yeah.
It's great. I'm like reading the script, the 3rd revision of it. And I mean, we've come a long way.
You guys sound like ladies. The dialogue is very ladylike.
Actually,
yes.
DJ doesn't know this, but the first time I read it was our table read like 2 weeks ago.
He knows
And
now.
I had done like 2 podcasts before that, and I was like talking about this film like I knew everything about it. But I was just so busy and
You're acting.
like back to back with projects. Right, I was acting. But when I read it, I was like, "Holy shit, this is actually good." Because you know it's
I am
so
so
good,
and it
glad.
made us so much more like excited about it. Yeah.
I was like, "Wait, I don't remember this part at all." Well, I wouldn't remember it because I didn't read it in the first place. But I was like, "This shit's good."
That's
awesome.
That's so true.
So y'all want to donate?
No, I'm
just
saying
kidding.
he really is the Lillian to my Stacy because he probably, to be honest, have you read these all the way through?
No, but I printed that shit out for you. I printed this shit out for you so you could read it. Because I didn't need to read
He
it.
hasn't read
So
the shit.
you're my eco, Stacy?
Yeah, we're
All right,
soul
so
sisters.
y'all need to hang out. We need to hang out.
Yeah.
That's what the blonde is for.
I know,
the
no.
blonde.
See, but if you and I hung out, we would never do anything. We'd just be sitting there like so worried.
Like,
we don't
yeah,
have
like
the money or
moms.
this could go wrong. Or, yeah.
You got your wallet?
Like a
keys?
calculator.
Yeah,
Hey, like a
every
calculator
Lillian
can count
needs
on
a
us.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
So going into production, and this is for everybody too, whoever wants to go first. What are you most nervous about going into like beginning shooting?
It's a hefty script. It's like more than 100 pages. So that alone to me is kind of a little overwhelming in the sense that there's so much content that has to get covered, so many lines we have to learn, which, you know, that comes as you go. And, you know, we have time to prep for that, but it just so much, and worrying about the details of every little thing and having the energy to actually get through the shoot.
Yeah.
Because it's a 3-week shoot.
And then like being with people we know. Like, so we know Brayden, who's our Chuck. We know Lillian, which is Bridget. Me, who is Stacy. And then like we all like know each other and we're all like a big group of friends. So it's like when we get together, we fuck around. So it's like we're gonna be staying up late, like partying, like doing all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
the
can
boat.
tell who had.
We go on the
I can
boat.
tell
Yeah,
who
we're
knew
gonna
who
be
You're
doing
knew.
sitting
all
here,
that
bro, but let me
stuff.
tell you this
You just
from
gonna be on the boat with
experience.
us.
When you and Thomas is not on camera right now, but again, me and Thomas only played the characters we can play so good. We didn't know each other before we did our film, but once we knew the characters we had, he started coming over to my house to play poker. We hung out on the weekends. We did because we both knew inherently. We didn't say it. We got to know each other offset. So when the camera come on, ain't no fucking problem.
Exactly. Exactly.
We've made out so many times.
We have.
We didn't do that, but I just want to up until that.
Well,
we smoked
you know,
together. That was
well,
I
about
don't think
it.
there's anything wrong with that.
No, Seinfeld. There's nothing wrong with that. But we're openly heterosexual. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so, I mean, so since we have nude roles, we decided to, you know, spend our weekend nude together, and it was
She's
great.
fucking around. We play Catan.
Apparently, I'm not a method actor anymore. Okay, all right.
we really, I just go over to Emily's house and I force her to play Catan with me for like
This
5
is
hours.
true.
We were waiting on that moment for our show to jump the shark in a good way. And ladies, thank you, sir. I didn't know when you were in this script. It was for this moment, but thank you so much.
DJ, besides your 2 leads getting arrested during the production for
Hey,
something,
hey.
what are you most nervous about going into
I'm
it?
the mom, so I'm not getting arrested.
Mommy
She
and
might.
daddy.
I guess, well, what makes me most nervous, I guess, is just not knowing what's going to happen during production. Something always happens. As well as you can plan, something's always going to happen. And so that's like, I've been trying to set up parameters and stuff like that. So
Smart.
one of the issues that I've been dealing with for the past like 3 weeks is trying to nail down the graveyard location that we have. Because any private graveyard that I've called, as soon as I say that we're filming a horror film, they just hang up on me.
Oh, God.
And so we've been trying to talk to the city and try to get some city graveyards, but they're also pretty crazy about what we're going to be doing in there. So, but that's been like one of the things that I've been nervous about is just stuff like that, and actually we're also getting a set built for one of the locations. It's supposed to happen in the cave, so we have a set builder that's going to be doing that. We're spending a lot of money on getting that set built and setting it up in a studio, and the reason why we're doing that is because that is what what I think is going to sell the film. Is this this scene that happens in the climax and everything that happens down there, other than these two, obviously.
Just kidding.
Getting that done, and I've always been a believer in put your money on the screen.
Yeah.
So whatever money you have, give it to actors like these. Give it to your set builders. Give it to your effects and prop people. Put your money on the screen. I'm not getting paid for this film. There is no line in the budget where I make any money off of this. The only money I'm going to see off of this film is going to happen in like 3 or 4 years if we get some.
That's actually a perfect segue. What are your what's your plans and goals after the completion for Hellgate?
Yeah, so we are planning on hitting the festival circuit. I have about 4 film festivals that I'm specifically targeting for the film, and if there are any that we think also might fit, we'll apply for those. But the first thing we're going to do is go on the festival circuit to try to shop around for distribution, and then after that, depending on what we get that way, we'll go from there. But this film, I won't lie, I wrote this for distribution.
Yeah.
I'm almost 100%. We're gonna be able to put something up.
I would have loved if you would have said just to see their reactions. Like, actually, no plans. I'm just gonna it's for me, just for me personally.
I'm not even releasing it. I'm just gonna watch it.
Open
It's a movie I wanted to watch. That's all.
Earlier on camera, we talked about, of course, Karen Chaney. Then we also, of course, off camera talked about Sledgehammer films.
No, Karen Cherney. Let's stick on her for a second because don't just breeze past
I'm
Karen.
not breezing. If hey, listen, let it finish. It'll happen. So earlier we talked about Karen Cherney. We off camera talked about Sledgehammer Horror, and of course we were going to be interviewing Franklin Rich.
Breezing right past it. You're lumping everything together.
No, I'm not at all. If you let it work together.
Let's see.
All right, watch this, kid. Thanks.
You
so
got
much.
this,
All right,
Lillian.
everybody back to 1, 3, 2, 1. So earlier we were talking about Karen Cherney. You mentioned her, and I was going to bring up, of course, Franklin Rich, and also we off camera talked about Sledgehammer Horror films. The main reason why I'm bringing up all 3 of these people, they all can relate back to you and the experience that you have going on. You have a horror film, and you are on a horror podcast such as Sledgehammer Horror. I want you to first talk about that. Then I would like for you to bring it back to Karen Cherney and Franklin Rich, because you have something in common with them. They both experienced success coming from a city that's not known for success. Could you talk to me about that? Fuck you.
No, I'm not happy with it, but I'll let it ride.
Can he finish?
So both myself and the girls were on Sledgehammer Horror's podcast for the My First Horror Movie segment, and Ken and Ashley Sledge are really awesome people, and
I concur.
I loved watching their channel before we even got on it, and which is why I reached out to them to try to get on their channel, because I really love their authenticity, and I really like what they do, and I like that My First Horror Movie segment. And so I don't have a bad word to say about either of them. They're great people, and Ken is hilarious. And they can say what they will.
He's amazing.
About Sledge.
We had so much fun with him. He was awesome.
We thought we were dark until we met Ken.
He's great.
Yeah, and that's why he's so funny, because I get it, bro. I get Ken's.
You may want to tune in tomorrow.
Our sense of humor just stinks.
We had to cut some things out of ours because we were going so.
We were going ham. Yeah, and I mean, he went right along with us. He was just as out there as us. So he's awesome. He's a good dude.
Yeah, and Karen Cherney has been she kind of exploded into my life, and I've just loved knowing her.
Mm-hmm.
And when the ghost role happened, I was like, it's got to be Karen. And we have, if you go to our Instagram account, the Bloodscribe Creations Instagram account, we have a lot of reels and behind the scenes for the makeup that we did. We're using Hillary Warren and Brad.
You're
Shear.
fucking awesome, Hillary. I love you.
She absolutely is.
Hillary Warren has worked right here in this studio.
So we hired them to do the special effects for this film because I know the quality.
If you haven't seen them, they're fucking lit.
I'll put
If
them
you go
up
to our
while we're talking.
If you go to our Instagram and you look at the reels of the ghost of Karen Tierney as the ghost, I mean, it is incredible.
And the algorithm is working for you guys because doing the research for tonight this morning, I saw the pictures of Karen Tierney and I was like, I've seen these before. It was like weeks ago before we talked when you guys had first posted them. They were making their rounds when you were doing that set outside. I can't remember if it was on Instagram or Facebook, but yeah. And Karen, she's like, is she going to be like, I don't want to ask this. It'll like possibly create a spoiler, but Karen Tierney is a great person to have on set. She's a great energy, which is you can't have enough positive energy on a 12-hour production day. Franklin Rich, I noticed him in some of the cast pictures. He has just, I feel like his star has just risen a little bit. I don't know if I'm just making the assumption that he's a part of the cast because of the pictures that I saw. Is there any concern going forward now about his availability going into production on April?
So I'll answer that question. He was a part of the cast.
Okay, there we go.
The crew of the cast. Right? That's
the cast. Yeah, and obviously no fault to him. He accepted the role before he
to go out and
he received some news.
Yeah,
but
can we
not hold really quick? I want to respect what you're saying, but I don't want to say he did it as a fault because I think that's a true sign of somebody who respects the craft. He knew what he had in the works, but he still came and showed his humbleness.
Right.
Yeah, but he didn't know.
But
he didn't know he was about to win South by Southwest.
When you, and now I'm sorry. What the kids say? If you know, you know. You feel it. My point is, he had to know something.
When he accepted the role, I 100% believe this. When he accepted the role, I don't think he knew what was going to happen with Artemis Girl. So what he did, he was great about it. He sent us a message. He said, "Hey guys, as far as the filming schedule goes, after this happened, this is my availability. If you can't work with it, that's fine." And I went to my first AD because we were building the schedule at the time, and I said, "Is this something we can work with?" And he was like, "Honestly, not really." And so I went to Franklin. I said, "Look, man, all the best. We can't work with that, and I'm not going to ask you to do something that is going to take away from what you're already doing. Yeah. So God bless and kill it." Yeah. So that's how it happened. So
and we were really, really sad about losing.
We were, because we thought that. I mean, I loved him for the role
Me
that he
too.
was.
He was going to be great.
Yeah.
He was, but I mean, he's going to do his thing that he already had a commitment for, and he's going to go.
But I appreciate how he did it though, because here's my thing: you guys just changed my mind because I didn't know those things as you said it. So he obviously did not know, but he still handled it as a professional.
Oh, yeah, very much.
You know what that means though? Because now his star is on the rise. If it was somebody that's been dropped out and left said and not said shit, you can't count on him for nothing. But now you think he's going to forget you guys as he moves on? That's how an actor puts in a 2-week notice.
Yeah. Yeah. No. He did a very good job.
Correct.
But the flip side of that coin is who we got to cast for that role was already kind of in contention with him for that role.
Yeah.
So the fact that we got to reach out to that actor, Benjamin Newmark. So shout out Ben.
So it wasn't an understudy; it was just another study for the role.
Yeah. Essentially,
it was a backup.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same guy.
Yeah, I called him. I was like, "Hey, man, tell me you're available," and he was like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah," because like
we won either way.
Yeah,
I mean, we won either way.
Really did.
Like, what lessons have you learned on the short films that you've produced that you're going to take with you going into the feature film? Like, what I guess not lessons. What's like a really big lesson that stands out to you? Like something, I mean, you've already spit so much knowledge. Like we talked to so many people and you've blown me away at least 3 times today saying things that I've never thought about before. So you've already put the knowledge out there. But wonder if there's anything that we haven't covered, anything that stands out to you.
Know what you don't know. And when it comes to feedback, eat the meat and spit out the bones.
Damn.
And there's, I can explain a little bit more of that, is when you get feedback from either a short film or anything that you've done, really try to find where the meat in that feedback is and what the bones are.
Yeah.
And eat the meat and spit out the bones. And it might take a little bit, but it's pretty easy to tell when people are coming from a genuine standpoint of, I care about this project and this is what I think would make it better, and people who are just, who don't.
Who's shooting shit up
Who
your ass.
who are just who are either shooting shit up your ass or who just have a bone to pick with you and are going to shit on whatever you do. Everybody has dislikes on their stuff, everybody. And so it's just, you can't worry about that. And when you get feedback from people, make sure that that feedback that you're getting, you're able to actually pick out, okay, this is what you can improve on, or this is what I can improve on. And this is just bones. I don't need to worry about it. Right. And just never think that your stuff is perfect.
Take what you need, leave what you don't.
Right. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Love it. Bridget, Emily, can I ask you guys, ladies, this? Prepare for this role, or any advice you can give to any potential actresses or actors going forward, preparing for any role. What did you do for this role, and what advice would you give them preparing for roles?
Naked weekend together.
Well, yeah, this is not Broke Slack Mountain. So with that being said, is there any advice you can give to any actors or females or males that are coming into the industry from your perspective on what to do, prepare for this role and any role going forward?
Also, the Naked Weekend was a lingerie.
And we're back.
It was a lingerie.
All right, everybody, there we go.
But
we had so much fun.
Yeah, no shit.
It was a lingerie photo shoot.
Me and Thomas in the wrong industry. Shit.
But I would just say, know your character. And whenever you're on any project, treat that project as the best project you've ever done. Right. Because you don't want to half-ass anything. And specifically with auditions, the way I go into them is not to land roles. I don't audition because I want to be in every single movie. I like auditioning because I like acting. And anytime I'm able to act, whether it's on stage, on film, in a commercial, during an audition, that's what I love. That's why I do it. I don't do it to make money, to win awards. Obviously, those things are great and everyone loves those. Don't lie, we all do. But act because you love it. And if you don't love it, you can learn to love it. But
Or don't.
Just
least
don't.
act
You
like
have
you
to
do.
go all in.
I
Because
like that.
more often than not, you're not going to be as successful as you want to be.
Yeah.
You can keep working towards that. And obviously everyone wants to strive towards that. That's what I'm doing, but I'm not as successful as I want to be right now, but I'm not going to stop because I love it.
That's
Right.
awesome.
The fact that you can do what you love to do isn't work to you.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, that's
That's
perfect.
fucking awesome answer. I'm not even
This is
gonna
going to segue perfectly into the uncomfortable discussions about budget and begging. The DJ, is there a particular? You're writing. You're telling a story that has supernatural elements on a budget. I'm sure, it's hard to make a drama with a little bit of money. I could imagine anything that's going to require special effects, and you kind of talked about this, putting the money on the screen and putting a lot of money into this end sequence, the set for that. Have you had to make any compromises along the way, from what you initially wanted it to look like to, what just creative compromises, I guess?
No.
Nice.
And the reason for that is I'm not going to compromise what I want to put on the screen. And filmmaking is work. And when it comes to the budget, find a way to find the money. And if you care enough, you'll find it. So I met the financier of this film at a Super Bowl party. And the only reason why we even developed this relationship was because we were at first talking about football, and then we started talking about movies, and I just happened to mention that I was making a movie, and he kept asking me about it, and there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's equal. So it's equal parts luck and putting yourself in a position to get lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't go to that Super Bowl party, then I wouldn't have met this guy.
True, but if you didn't go to that Super Bowl party as a fucking person that's putting the time and work into work ethic, you could have been a fucking salesman or a fucking goat herder. You were a director.
And that's
filmmaker who had
another
something to
thing
go.
about DJ. Everywhere he goes,
When he leaves his house.
he mentions this movie. everywhere he goes, he works toward getting this movie funded. Like, I don't see this man not working. Like, on Facebook, on his personal Facebook, when he goes out to bars, like, we're writing #BloodScribeCreations on receipts. Like, he is always working, bro. Like, and I commend him so much because he works so fucking hard, and we're finally gonna make this happen, and I'm so excited for it.
That's the common denominator who people see. I don't want to be rich because that goes up and down. I want to be successful because successful is a lifestyle.
Exactly.
And those usually it's two common denominators of successful: silver spoon or either work ethic.
Oh.
And I love to be on the work ethic side of it.
Who the fuck wants a silver spoon? You don't fucking work for that.
I would have loved a
You're
silver
given.
spoon, to be honest.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been the person I would be today. If it was just given to me, I wouldn't be who I was. So, parting words, I would like to say this.
No parting words. Hold on. Are you accepting money from anyone? You got your own fucking script over there. Go look at it. Are you accepting money from anybody right now? You
Yes.
mentioned that,
Yeah.
right?
No, we still are.
And where can people go to
Donate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
where can people
I
do
mean,
that?
so I guess I should preface the fact we have that you know we have secured some financing for this. The more money we have, the more we can do, and we are always offering things. If you want to donate and you just want your name and the special thanks of the credits, you can go to our Linktree. It's just Linktree/BloodScribe, or you can go to BloodScribeCreations.com. And at the top right, there's a support indie film button, and you just click that, and that's where you can go to donate. And you know, we keep track of all that. I have an accountant that is watching all of the finances. That, you know, she makes sure that everything is, you know, where it's supposed to be. But again, you know, if the more money we get, the more that we can do. And pre-production costs, and honestly, it costs a lot. Production costs the most. Pre-production costs a lot as well. Because you have to be able to start things early in pre-production to be able to get into production. So yeah, we are always accepting any kind of donations, and anybody that wants to be an investor in the film. I paid a hefty retainer fee for an entertainment lawyer to draw up, you know, rock solid private placement memorandums and everything else that you need. Because
Definitely have an investor.
Because we give a shit. Jacksonville, the thing is like when I moved from Cleveland to Jacksonville, a lot of it was Jacksonville was the first Hollywood, you know, going back into the day. And there's no reason why it can't be. Hollywood is dying.
Yeah,
true.
And there is no reason. We are about to enter a golden age of indie film. And
Very
there is
true.
no
Very
reason.
true.
There is no reason why Jacksonville cannot come back and be even the East Coast part of that. Why is Atlanta beating Jacksonville? And it's, you know, and that's sort of why I kind of chose this area, is because I know there's talent here. I found the talent. You know, Bridget's from Orlando. That's fine. But I have found talent.
That's still Jax.
I have found talent here.
Case by case.
As far as the crew goes, as far as people that I have talked to, as you know, as consultants and you know, relationships that I've had, you guys here, you know, being able to actually support the scene, it's here. Yeah. We can do it.
And by the way, we do want to. I forgot to do a special shout out to Emma for putting us in touch.
Emma everywhere, Miss
Thank
Emma
you,
Catherine.
Emma.
She
Costume
knows,
She's not here
designer.
tonight, but she's everywhere.
right, and guess why she's not here tonight? Because she's fucking working. She's at Film Bar Monday, so even our correspondents work when they're not working. And I know, by the way, I want to apologize, but I also want to also tout my shit. I know why you said I shouldn't do final thoughts, because you know I didn't read these fucking questions, but for somehow I asked them all those same questions that at the end right there, except the last one. So
I know.
can I do this? Thank you so much
I'll let you know.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So with you, you guys can go one at a time. Final thoughts. It doesn't have to be about the film. It could just be about life. It could be about anything, starting with you, sir. And then, matter of fact, ladies first. You know how it goes. Ladies, and then down to you.
You take this one first.
Oh, I can't go from the middle now. That's weird.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't go from the. You said whoever wants
Not
to
there's
go.
anything wrong with that.
So not specifically, it's
Let's go from the middle. 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay. Middle.
Oh Lord. Okay. My final thoughts are, you know, we're put here to live. You know, we don't want to work the rest of our life. Do something you love to do. Make life worth living. You know, so like I've been teaching this to Bridget here more recently, that if it stresses you out and if it interrupts your peace, stop doing it. Stop doing it. So surround yourself with things that bring you peace, bring you happiness, bring you joy. So like hanging out with friends, hanging out with family, whether it's going out and being social, whether it's staying in your bed and being a hermit, you are here to please yourself, not to please anybody else around you. So if it makes you happy, that's all that matters. That's my advice.
That's our mantra.
Those are sound proverbs. Yeah, that literally has
That's
been
very true.
since I started eating mushrooms. Like, don't fuck.
Well,
with
before I
my
even did
calm.
mushrooms,
Don't
I
Don't
thought
fuck with
that.
my peace.
Yeah,
Don't
like-
fuck with
yeah.
my peace.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to be misogynistic up here. We're blurting this out, piece of mind over piece of pussy. And your turn, ma'am, go.
Kind of exactly what Emily was saying, but also do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
The only person that's going to hold you back is yourself. And the only person that's going to be there at the end of the day is yourself.
Only person
So-
that's gonna judge you is yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're your own supporter and your own competition.
Not
It doesn't
according to
matter.
like 97% of thugs' tattoos. Only God can judge them.
Right.
That part.
I didn't pass the bar, so I can't judge anybody. See what I did there? Your turn, sir.
Make film.
He not getting counseled by nobody else. Make film, live life, 2023.
YOLO.
Make film. Make art.
Listen, guys,
That's what we need.
Yeah.
listen, we want to thank the cast and the crew and not everyone. Listen,
You're looking for their names, DJ.
I'm not.
Bridget,
No.
Emily,
I
thank you
want
very
to
much.
say one other thing that we didn't get. There were, if I'm not mistaken, sir, could you say one thing to the other people that aren't here that worked on the film tonight? Just all the people that we didn't, but we may have forgotten that helped out with the film.
Oh God! Well, I mean, Emma, obviously for one. Heidi, definitely. Chris, Uriel, Diaz, our production designer and art director. Jack Miller, my director of photography. Braden, our Chuck. Let's see.
You're gonna forget one person.
Daniel, my first AD. I'd like to thank Adela Hittel.
Yeah.
She's
We
been
met Adela.
she's been
Love
very
Adela.
influential on
Yeah.
us in this film. I mean, everybody that I've come across so far. Thank you guys for having us
For
on.
having
and-
us,
and-
yeah.
You didn't need us here. You guys want to be
It's
great,
fun.
but I will tell you this: we this is a segment we do called Friends of the Program or friends of TTFT, and I'll tell you this: we've interviewed a lot of people, and we have our favorite guests we've interviewed through Zoom. But I'll just tell you this: as far as in studio, you're right up there with the Madrids who do the LOL and the 48.
That's
We love
so
you guys.
Oh God, we love
Chemistry,
Madrid.
and we love them, and they're awesome. And you guys,
better if you're making film. And
You
Jackson,
better, right.
You're in a
and earlier you guys sat here with Thomas, and Thomas sat here with you guys, Thomas, and that's what I love. This motherfucker just sit here and did an interview in front of you guys. Now he's doing sound for us,
Yeah.
guys. We're always fucking working, and guess what? Shh, and that's the fucking trailer. All right, here we go. Hey, you guys, hey, that's awesome.
thank you.
Ladies.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome,
you
ladies.
so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
The world is a stage, a tragic show. We die for the spotlight just to let them know. Satellites are circling to keep us in line. We log our daily fictions while we're dying